Thanks, Dan. I just wanted to have my passion, my love on the screen, please. Thank you. This is my passion, this is my love, this is my pride. This is what I do. I'm not a scientist. I'm not an investor. I'm not an investee. I work with common people. And the power of that work is to build Bangladesh. Need to provide the context of the innovation practices. We are very lucky to be part of a century when the world technology is moving faster than ever. The communication industry is growing faster than the economy. We're implementing social business, impact investment, private equity, venture capitals to bring up social goods. This is also the time when human civilization is facing challenges more than it expected to cope with. Climate change is creating enormous pressure to mankind to be more creative and innovative to ensure sustainability. Governments around the world are tackling political unrest, resource constraints, and divisions among human race, culture. People are struggling to manage their money through the traditional banking system, particularly after the global financial crisis. There has never, ever been a greater demand for mankind to be innovative and creative to reinforce reforms already happening in the field of social, economic, and environmental arenas. We still have poverty. We still have social discrimination, disadvantaged children, high mortality rates at childbirth, economic barriers, environmental and financial illiteracy, and lack of balanced sense of global ownership with local pride. How do we expect to ensure sustainability for the 22nd century? How could we guarantee that 22nd century will be a better place to live and work than what we have now? How can we leave a legacy of our own to support many more generations to come? Please remember, we only have a window of one generation, only 83 years until the year 2100 to deliver a sustainable 22nd century. Good afternoon, fellow fighters who are trying to bring social good, human development, while respecting the commonalities among us rather than highlighting the differences. Firstly, I would like to show my respect to the freedom fighters who sacrificed their lives for giving me the opportunity to represent an independent country, Bangladesh. I'd also like to welcome you in my mother language because that will come from my heart. Shagotam. Bangladesh, as you have seen, is a country, 160 million people. 65% of the population is under the age of 35. One of the highest population density, almost 1,200 people per square kilometer. A country with declining rate of poverty rate between 91 and 2016. This is a very risky session, so I had to do something so that people not fall asleep. This is just the session and the dinner coming in between, right? So this is the population of Bangladesh. These are human figures, right? In 91, the poverty was around 44%. In 2016, we reduced it to 12.9%. Bangladesh has done very well. It's the home of microfinance, largest NGO, the longest sea beach, and above all, the seeding fertile ground for impact investment. Since 10th of August this year, it's also the first country to launch an impact fund in partnership with United Nations Social Impact Fund. Partnership between Build Bangladesh and United Nations Social Impact Fund complementing the SDGs. Since 2007, impact investing is growing with us when the total global financial assets grew to US $225 trillion in 2013, triple the world's GDP. Global high net worth wealth reached US dollar 52.6 trillion in 2014. 92% of the high net worth individuals led by the younger investor, I'm highlighting the younger investors under 40 years, and by those in emerging markets agreed that contributing to social impact is important to them. The rising influence of the millennial generation, those born between early 1980s and early 2000s. How many do we have, the millennial? Can we have a show of hands that how many of this millennial generation, not me of course, in this room? Can we show a hand? Well, 1, 2, 3. Well, this is a gray hair session. Okay. But the rising influence of this millennium generation with their beliefs for sustainability and impact, helping driving a shift in social expectation and way capital should be directed. Being the people from the digital age with a constant interactive flow of easily accessible information and increased transparency, their expectation of public and private organizations are higher than previous generations. This generation of wealth holders are more socially and environmentally conscious and expected others to act accordingly. Nearly 30% of them believe the top priority of any business should be to improve people's lives. There's a forecast that this generation will intend US dollar 30 trillion, inherit US dollar 30 trillion over the next few decades from parents and grandparents in North America alone. The significant difference between this generation and the previous one is the millennials would like to leverage their wealth in new and innovative ways. Innovation and impact investing. Innovations that have already emerged with impact investing include blended finance, social impact bonds, pay for success, aiming at funding with new untrusted business models, and so on. There are two types of impact investment. One is a Catholic investment, one is the mainstream one. The Catholic investments are more often linked to localized opportunities driven by geography, demography, societal and environmental issues. We wanted to explore innovations, impact investing, demography, social issues under the theoretical framework of Catholic investments. Coming to the topic about Bangladesh. We have checked the population pyramid, we all know that. We have overlaid the investment pyramid on top of that. In Bangladesh, it's other way around. It's an upwards, downwards pyramid. So the top level invests more, the bottom of the pyramid actually invests less. So we try to explore that as an opportunity. There is no financial literacy. At school level, we do learn a lot of things about savings, but we don't learn about growing money. So financial literacy was a very important factor. So what we did, we launched an investment fund, an open-ended investment fund for the bottom of the pyramid. Around $13, 1,000 taka, that's our unit you can actually invest, and that could grow for your future safety net. We tried to do that. We launched that in August. The value was 0.25 million US. After 1 year, it has raised up to 5 million US dollars now. We call it Impress Capital Limited Balance Fund. We do have the brochure. And the return rate is surprisingly almost 17%. So the bottom of the pyramid, for the first time in Bangladesh, had an investment package, open-ended, without any penalty. They could celebrate or learn how to invest things. So probably the challenge now is not geographic boundary. I think the UN corporate sectors, a UN relationship with corporate sectors through United Nations Social Impact Fund is highly appreciative. I think that is the way that we should go ahead. We have to challenge the geographic boundary now because our enemies are not countries. Our enemies are poverty, climate change, intergenerational well-being, financial literacy, environmental literacy, and also having a generation of sharing and caring or reciprocation process between developed and developing countries. So at the end, it is not how many billion dollars, obviously, my adventure has achieved, but how many people my organization have improved lives with. That's why we are telling, don't limit your challenges, but challenge your limits. This is our fight. If we are right, we should enjoy it. If we are wrong, we need to make it right. Thank you.